All right, so you're thinking about making a move to Phoenix, Arizona, and maybe you have Queen Creek as a potential destination. Queen Creek is definitely popular right now. It's seen a lot of growth over the last several years, and there are a lot of positive things to consider. But as someone who has personally lived there for 5 years, there are definitely some negative things you want to think about as well. And I think those things are just as valuable to learn so that you can make the right decision. So today we're going to bring up the map. I'm going to give you kind of a general overview of everything I think you need to know, and we're going to cover some of the pros and cons and just some of the things that you should think about before making that move. So if that info might be helpful for you, then stay tuned. What's up, everybody? It's Greg Corbett with the AZ Lifestyle Group right here in Phoenix, Arizona. If this is your first time to this channel and you're looking to find out everything you need to know about what it's like living in and or moving to the Phoenix metro area, include living in Queen Creek, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you can be notified whenever we post a new video. We are helping people from all over when it comes to finding the best places and neighborhoods to live here, and we absolutely love it. So if you're even thinking about making a move and you need any assistance whatsoever, give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, however you want to get a hold of us. We got your back when it comes to moving to the Phoenix metro. All right, guys, let's get right into it. I've got the map of Metro Phoenix on screen, and I've got Queen Creek highlighted in red here in the Southeast Valley. We're going to go over everything I think you need to know. I actually spent 5 years living in Queen Creek. When I first got my real estate license in 2004, I was working for a home builder, bought a home there, and so I spent a lot of time there, and I kind of know a lot what's going on. There's been a lot that has changed. It's definitely grown a lot since I've been there, and there are a lot of positives going on, but I think I can give you kind of a general idea, and I've definitely still spent some time down there when I'm looking to help people who are looking to move to the area. So, let's talk about why people are making the move there. And I think, Queen Creek, there's a lot of good reasons. If you go to like the Town of Queen Creek website, it talks about what it's doing as far as growth and the increase in population. It talks about having one of the highest median incomes of people who live there, right here at about 96,000, well-educated population. It talks about being very youthful. It's very family oriented, that type of thing. So, I lived there as a single person when I was down there on my own. I think there's definitely more families and probably single people that are living there. The lifestyle is probably geared towards that. It's an area where there's a lot of communities, a lot of parks, and that type of thing. We're going to go over that. But here, I think kind of spells out a lot of the reasons why I think a lot of families kind of move over into the Queen Creek area. It's growing in a lot of ways. So, don't pigeonhole yourself if you don't have a family yet, but I think it's definitely geared towards families for the most part. So let's go, let's kind of take a look at, location and how to get there. If you're coming in from, the Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport and you're talking about making a drive into Queen Creek just to see if it's a good fit for you, it's probably going to take you about 40 to 45 minutes with no traffic. You're basically going to take the 60 all the way east until you get to the Loop 202. The Loop 202 will take you down to the 24, which is a kind of a new freeway that's not completed yet. Hopefully the 24 will be completed in the next year or so, but there is a little bit of the area where the 24 is open that's going to take you to Ellsworth Road down here near Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport. And then Ellsworth will take you into the heart of Queen Creek. Ellsworth is kind of the main thoroughfare going into Queen Creek for the most part, especially like the old school town of Queen Creek. Queen Creek is a mix of old and new. If you go right into the heart of town, like Ellsworth and Ocotillo, it still feels like it's a little older. They kind of expanded around it and everything. They kind of have it has kind of an interesting mix to it as far as seeing some of the older buildings that have been around forever in Queen Creek, and then all this new stuff around it. You see a lot of new commercial stuff. You see a lot of the strip malls. You see a lot of new offices and little restaurants and shops and that type of thing. They've definitely made, when I was living down in Queen Creek back between 2004 and 2009, most of that stuff, was just kind of coming in at the time, like Ellsworth Loop Road. When you're kind of coming in here, if you go into Ellsworth Loop Road and kind of see all the new stuff that's kind of in around there, that didn't exist for the most part when I was living there. So it's kind of interesting to see all the growth. But there are a ton of new home construction communities all around here. I'll take you to this little map right here real quick. If you see all these little points here, this is all the new construction going on in Queen Creek that's currently going on. So it's a hotbed community for new construction to see like what's going on. Now, if we go over the map and we take it over to kind of the communities around here, you'll get an idea on kind of some of the starting prices of these communities. So you look at starting at $865, $754, $587, $573. I mean, so these are going to be homes that are going to be, when I was buying originally in 2004, you could get starting in like the 100,000 range. So obviously the prices have gone up quite a bit. We've seen the prices go up over the last couple of years, and Queen Creek, is looking like a very nice community because they are putting in communities that with a little bit more expensive, that type of thing, but people are going down there in droves to buy down there. So that's what you should expect when you're looking to maybe buy a new home down in Queen Creek. We'll bring back the map up here. So let's talk about a couple other reasons why I think people really like it down there. You definitely have really cool views. You've got the Santan Mountains kind of backdrop to the south. There's some really nice views of the Santan Mountain area. You obviously proximity into Gilbert and Chandler, I think, is helpful. So for people who maybe aren't finding exactly what they want in Gilbert and Chandler, this gives you a way to be close by and maybe find either something a little bit more affordable or potentially something that's a little bit newer. Maybe you can find something newer that you couldn't find in the Gilbert area. So that proximity to Gilbert, I think, helps. There's not really a main entertainment district in Queen Creek currently. I mean, they've got shops and restaurants and that type of thing. You do have the access to kind of get the things that you need. But as far as like a main entertainment district, that doesn't exist. So I think you're having to go into Gilbert for that for the most part, or Chandler. When I was living down there, I mean, I was constantly having to drive, quite a bit to places to get to the spots where I was meeting up with, friends and that type of thing. So definitely more of a community where you're spending a lot of time in your neighborhood, and people spend a lot of money into their backyards and spend a lot of time at home and that type of thing. The other thing that I think is, popular down there are a lot of the parks and stuff. So there's a lot of, there's the Mansell Carter Oasis Park in Queen Creek. I've spent a lot of time kind of cruising around some of the parks and stuff. So you've got, a lot of new, if you go to the Queen Creek website, you'll see a lot of the stuff coming up here. They've got so many cool little parks for families and kids. So, from an activity and lifestyle point of view, you're going to have a lot of this stuff close to home. So I think that stuff is pretty nice. The 24 here, let's talk about this 24 again, because I think a lot of the potential negative to Queen Creek and the reason why, for me, it's a little bit more challenging to think about from, trying to figure out where to live. Like, so if you're having to drive into Phoenix or Scottsdale, or if you have to commute at all, driving to Queen Creek can probably be a challenge. So if you have to do it on a daily basis, between the traffic, just getting in and out of it, that type of thing, I would say that would be something you got to consider. If you're having to drive somewhere, then maybe Queen Creek might be a little bit more challenging than you want to do. If you're just driving into like Gilbert or Chandler, you can kind of stay in the East Valley, then Queen Creek might make sense for you if you're not having to go too far. A lot of people obviously right now can just work remotely from home. If you can work remotely from home and Queen Creek is a spot for you, that makes sense too. So I think with working remotely, a lot of this stuff makes more sense. But if you do have to drive, that's where maybe Queen Creek might not feel as good, because you're going to spend a lot of time in traffic. It has significantly grown when it comes to how many people are down there. So the traffic down in Queen Creek is significant. And the other thing too is all these roads feed into Santan Valley as well. So you'll hear about Queen Creek. Santan Valley is just to the south of that. There's a lot of new construction that's going on in Santan Valley that you're going to hear about as well. Prices get a little bit lower when you're going into Santan Valley because they're a little bit further out. but it gets further and further away, and then it gets further and further away from some of the things that you might want to do on a daily basis. So those are the things that you got to think about, and you got to think about all the traffic coming in is going right through Queen Creek, whether they're coming in off of Ellsworth or they're coming in off of Ironwood. There's going to be a ton of traffic that feeds into Queen Creek and also through Queen Creek into that Santan area. So traffic-wise, I mean, for what Queen Creek was is like a little small town, it's insanely busy, and all the roads are extremely, are full right now. Anytime I'm driving down there, it's pretty crazy on the areas just going right through town. So something to consider too. And then one other thing while I'm thinking about it here, there's some confusion that people I think need to know when it comes to Queen Creek, because you can actually live in Santan Valley. I think like a lot of the area, like here, if you come down to this community, Santan Heights actually has a Queen Creek mailing address. So if you're actually looking for homes and you're searching Queen Creek, you might find homes that are actually in Santan Valley that are not in the town of Queen Creek. And that there's a big difference between living in Queen Creek and living in Santan Valley, because you're going to have different utilities. You're not going to be a part of like the town taxes. So you might have to pay separate costs when it comes to protection. Like, even when I was living in there, they didn't have their own fire protection. You had to have rural metro. I think the town has its own fire protection now, but you probably have to pay for rural metro down in Santan Valley. So you pay like a separate amount per year to have fire protection on your house. You're also going to be a part of Johnson Utilities down here for your water coverage, which is significantly higher on your water bill than if you're living in Queen Creek. So there's going to be little differences that you need to know about when it comes to like making sure you're actually living in Queen Creek versus having a Queen Creek mailing address. So that's something to keep an eye on as well. Real quick, you guys, would really like to get your feedback on what we're doing video content wise, and if these are helpful to you. So if they are helpful to you, or there's anything that you would like us to include, maybe there's some info that you think we're missing, make sure to leave a comment for us below. We really want to hear from you, get your feedback so that we can number one, get you the right info that you're looking for, try to help improve these videos, and really make sure that we're doing the right content for you guys. So please make sure to leave a comment, hit the like button if you're liking it. We appreciate it. Let's talk about maybe a couple places that I think are pretty cool and pretty unique to Queen Creek. One of the things that pops up on my screen here is Schnepp Farms. Schnepp Farms is a very unique place and very cool. It's just kind of, it's out on the outskirts of Queen Creek. You go down there. There's a lot of events held down here. I've gone down there, and I've gone down there with my wife and with my 3-year-old, and we've gone down there. They have like events like Halloween. They've got like a where you can go out and pick some pumpkins and that type of thing, and they've got little kind of like a little carnival set up, that type of thing. It's a fun place to take kids. You get on the little train and kind of cruises around, and they do little haunted train stuff. So they have like events throughout the year similar to that. That's kind of one that we've gone down and spent a lot of time at. So just kind of a cool place to go to if you're living in Queen Creek, is heading down to Schnepp Farms. Definitely very family friendly and fun. The other place is Queen Creek Olive Mill. Queen Creek Olive Mill, is what it is. But so they have like a little restaurant, that you can go to. You can take tours of the garden area there to see how they grow the olives. They actually have like a couple shops now, and they open up a shop up in Scottsdale, as far as if you're looking for like really good olive oil and products, just food products in general. Queen Creek Olive Mill has got you covered there. There's a lot of good stuff. It's definitely cool, or a cool spot to go. Just grab lunch, maybe take a tour, that type of thing. So those are two places that I was really a big fan of when I was living down in Queen Creek, and I think two places that are pretty popular still. As we're talking through that, one of the places that pops up on screen here is Encantera. That is a active adult community, one of the first trilogy communities. If you're looking to retire, or you're looking for an active adult community that's got amazing golf, then I think, any of the Trilogy communities are great, but this Encantera is an absolutely beautiful community. There's some other little, 55 plus communities in and around Queen Creek as well. So if you're looking for an area that kind of has nice views, newer homes, and has, clubhouses, anything you want, that type of thing from a retirement perspective, there's some cool little spots around like that as well. Here's where I lived here, was right in the heart of Queen Creek. This is the Villages at Queen Creek. It's also got this Las Colinas Golf Club here. This is kind of a little public course. It's not super fancy at all. You drive through there. It's not super well kept. There's not a ton of money in there, but you can get in there and you can, you don't have to spend a lot of money to get out on the course and that type of thing. I was driving through here the other week. These were all homes that were built, between, I'd say 2002, 2003 into like the 2007-8 range. These were kind of built around the boom bust time. And it's interesting to kind of drive through there and see. There's a lot of homes that just don't look extremely well kept anymore. I'd say this area, maybe I'm being a little biased on it because I used to live there and it used to look a lot different, but there's a lot of people that have let their homes go a little bit here. So, for all the homes that I've seen and kind of cruised around some of the neighborhoods, this area, even though it's right in the heart of Queen Creek, is probably in a good location for a lot of people. It's not looking as sharp as it used to. So you might see some of the, the neighborhoods that were built in that time frame. Maybe they're not looking as good as some of the newer developments coming in. So, but I guess age does that to a lot of communities. So schools, I think schools, this is a big factor for a lot of people that are making the move. If people are moving into a place like Queen Creek and they see that it's family friendly, they also want to know that the schools are good. I think, from what I've seen, for the most part, I thought I had another screen popped up here, but I've seen a lot of, improvement with what Queen Creek has to offer. It seems like when you're going on to some of the, greaterschools.net, that type of thing, and you're looking at reviews for Queen Creek schools, it seems like there might not be in the same boat as like Chandler and Gilbert, but there's a lot of improvement, and it seems like a lot of people like the direction it's going. There's a lot of, obviously, when we talked about demographics, there's a lot of people moving in. There's a lot of money going in there. With the money that goes in there, it's going to hopefully bring in better teachers, higher paying teachers, that type of thing. So you're going to get a little bit better quality on that too. So I think that is on the positive side. If you're considering an area that's got good schools, I think Queen Creek, it looks like it's up and coming. I'm sure it has its challenges. I'm sure there's always some people that are like, hey, it's not as good as it should be. Totally get that, but it looks like it's improving, so that's a good sign. And then the another thing that I think about, Queen Creek has a lot of cool, it used to be a lot of farmland, that type of thing. There were areas that had some pretty good sized lots, so you can find some $1 million plus homes down in Queen Creek that maybe have a little bit larger lot sizes, that have kind of ranch style homes, especially when you're going down Riggs Road, you're going down Chandler Heights. I mean, if you're going into some of these communities, you're going to find some higher end homes. So if you're looking for, something, $1 million plus that has a larger lot size, maybe has the ability to have horses, that type of thing. If there's a lot of people I know that have horses down there in Queen Creek. You can basically cruise down the road on your horse in Queen Creek. So that's something that has become popular. So you're going to see that. So you see a lot of that type of action down in Queen Creek as well. Which is kind of cool. So that's the type of environment you're going to see. You do have the golf stuff. You got your country clubs, and see Seville right here. So if you're into golf, you can have that. If you're into horses, you can have that. Again, the views are good. I'd say that, again, there's a lot of positives. Going back to what the reasons why I left there, it was, for me, I spent a lot of time in Central Phoenix. I spent a lot of time in Scottsdale and kind of I hit all over the valley, but I spent a lot of time in those areas. So living out in Queen Creek didn't make sense if I was going to have to drive that far. If you're having to make a significant commute, I don't know if Queen Creek will be the best fit for you. Now, if it's the only place that it kind of offers you, that ranch style that you're looking for, then I get that. But again, from a perspective of having to drive, I I would think that most people would not want to do that if they had the choice, but easier said than done in a lot of times. And then, you know, going back to kind of, if you're looking at entry level pricing, I think be prepared on the entry level side that, you know, homes are going to start in the high threes, and that stuff that you're going to find in the, you know, less than 2,000 square foot little single story homes, smaller homes, small lots. You know, your starting point is going to be in the high threes and then move up from there. So give yourself kind of a general idea on what you're going to need to get into Queen Creek from that point of view. But, you know, again, easier access to kind of like your shopping. You know, now you've got grocery stores in there. When I lived there, I had to drive at least 20 minutes to get to a grocery store. So it's a lot easier to kind of get to places now than it did before. So if you want to check out a few more things regarding Queen Creek, I would definitely go, check out the main website, queencreekaz.gov. There's also investtheqc.com. So I think there's a lot of good information on here as well. And then one little last spot that it's actually not in Queen Creek, but I think a cool place to go if you are, you know, living in Queen Creek. This was a fun place, Santan Flat. You know, I always enjoyed going to this spot. It's kind of a really cool outdoor, indoor-outdoor restaurant environment. It's a place where you can go. They've got great burgers and steaks and great food. And then you have like kind of an outdoor sitting area that's got picnic tables. You can go out, you know, you can be out by a fire. You've got live entertainment. You got people singing. There's places where you can like roast some marshmallows or roast some hot dogs, that type of thing. It's a cool environment to go to. This is probably one of my favorite places to go when I was living in Queen Creek, was Santan Flat, as far as being close by. So definitely check that out. All right, so there's a quick overview of Queen Creek for you. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys. As always, if you have any questions or you kind of want to dive into a little bit more detail on, you know, what we covered, make sure to reach out to me. We'll leave our contact info on screen as always. Maybe Queen Creek is right for you. Maybe it's not right for you. If it's not, we've got a ton of videos on all the other areas all around Metro Phoenix. Make sure to check out some of the stuff on screen here below as we leave you. And again, we are here to help people from all over when it comes to finding the best places and neighborhoods to live here. We absolutely love it. So if you're even thinking about making a move, give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, however you want to get a hold of us. We got your back. And until the next video, we'll catch you later.